Mr. McKeever. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good. My name is Alyssa. I'm going to be your OTA for the day.
Nice to meet you,
Nice to
Alyssa.
meet you too. I understand you're having a little trouble seeing and you've fallen a couple times recently because of it.
Yeah, I fell and I hurt my leg.
Okay, well that happens sometimes. That's why I'm here today. OT strives to allow people to get back to doing what they love, either by adapting their environment, which we're going to talk about a lot today, or by adapting the actual tasks so that they can compensate for their unique needs. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. So today I'm going to help you make some changes with how you use your oxygen tubing and your footwear, and just kind of go over some brief modifications that you can make to your home to lessen your fall risk with your lowered vision and your oxygen tank.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. So as the OTA, one last thing, I'm going to be the one working directly with you throughout your treatment, but I work under the direct supervision of a registered or licensed occupational therapist. So you can feel free to ask me any questions and I will answer them to the best of my ability.
Okay.
But if I don't have the answer right away, I will ask my supervisor and get back to you so that you get the most accurate information.
Okay.
All right. So first, we're going to look at your footwear. Because I noticed you're wearing socks right now. Do you like to just have your feet warm? Do you wear socks a lot?
I usually wear socks, but that's how I fell last time, so I think I have to wear shoes.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. A good idea, especially if you just like to keep your feet warm, is to wear house shoes. And the best ones have a good rubber sole on the back. So I actually brought some.
Oh.
I brought some for you to see today. So you can see they have a good rubber sole. You can feel free to feel it if you want. It's not only going to help you not slip, but it's also going to give you more support while you're walking. So if you want to go ahead and slip those on.
These are nice.
And you can just kind of feel, like by rubbing your foot, that it's going to help you not slip on your hardwood floors. And I did bring in a bad example, so to speak, of if you go to the store and are looking for house shoes, these are vinyl on the bottom.
Can I feel them?
You can, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so what they're going to do is they're going to actually slip almost more than socks would. So you always want to have rubber on the bottom, not vinyl. Any questions so far?
No, makes sense.
All right, so the next thing we're going to do, which is why I had you put your shoes on first, is we're going to practice just simply standing and sitting back down while maintaining proper oxygen tubing placement. So first, I'm going to just, do you mind if I...
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to just show you real fast. To coil the tubing up in your hand, you can lay it in your hand and just gently make a circle around your hand with that.
Okay.
Which hand is your dominant hand?
My right hand.
Okay, so you're always going to hold the tubing in your left hand.
Okay.
Because you need to have that one open to use.
Okay.
All right, so just go ahead and coil that around your hand. Good job. All right. And so first we're going to practice standing. Hold on just a minute. Whenever you're standing, you need to have the tubing directly in front of you so that it's in your line of vision. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right, you can go ahead and practice standing up if you'd like to, making sure you can see the tubing. You're not stepping on it. Good job. And so now that you're standing, you can loosen this coil up a little bit if you need to, but you can hold that down to your side now.
Okay.
So as you're walking around,
To my side?
Yes, to your side over
So
here.
I can walk.
So you can walk around and do what you need to do around the house, and it's in your non-dominant hand, so you'll be able to do what you need to do. And then again, when we sit down, you're going to put it back in front of you so that you can see it. So go ahead and bring it to the front and sit down using the armrest. Good job. Did that feel comfortable to you?
Yeah.
All right. Next time I'm going to bring some bright colored tape if you're still having trouble seeing it or anything. And I'll just put bright colored tape at 1 foot increments so that it's even, you can see it even better whenever you're doing things. Do you have any questions so far?
Makes sense. I would appreciate that.
Yeah. All right. And so the next thing we're going to talk about is environmental modifications, which you can set that down if you want to. Just make sure it stays in front of you. Perfect. Just some quick, easy modifications. I'm going to set up a home assessment for you so that someone else or myself can come in and look around your entire home so that they can see where you might need handrails or contrast tape or things like this, which we'll talk about here in just a second. But that way someone else can come in and help you do these things that I'm telling you would be useful.
Okay.
So the first thing I noticed in this room is that you have a really bright rug on a really dark floor, which is a perfect example of using color contrast to your advantage. So you can very clearly see that rug on the floor.
Yes.
Yes. And most people don't like getting rid of their rugs. The easiest way to eliminate tripping hazards is to eliminate rugs. Mm-hmm. But if you don't want to get rid of your rug, you can also put double-sided tape around the edge so that as you come up to it, it's not gonna come up and trip you.
Okay.
And again, it's high contrast, so you already know it's there. Another high contrast tip would be to put tape, either bright orange or white, considering you have really dark floors, on thresholds or if you have steps anywhere, just to give you a easy visual reminder to either step or step large. Another tip is to clear walkways of clutter, which you seem to be doing an okay job just by looking around. But
thank you.
You're welcome. But you don't want to have anything like shoes. Say you take your house shoes off next to your bed. You want to make sure they're out of the way so that when you get up in the morning, you don't trip on them. Exactly. And you can also put contrast tape on furniture that is kind of in the walkway so that you know it's there, so you don't bump your hip on it or injure any other part of your body, even if you don't fall. A major thing also is to make sure all your things that you use are down low so that you don't have to use a step stool to get to anything.
Okay.
Let me just double check. And then the last thing would be to install handrails just for added stability. A good idea for both not falling and low vision is to have an elevated toilet seat or a toilet seat with handlebars so that you can see it, you know that it's there, and you don't have to lean down quite as far to sit down on the toilet. When speaking of toilet, you're going to utilize the tubing in your front anytime you're sitting down on the toilet or getting in the tub or getting in the car. You want to have your oxygen tubing in the front.
Okay.
So anytime you're making a transition from seated to not seated or anything like that. All right, and I am going to give you this handout. It's in super large print so that you can see it clearly. It just goes over everything I've talked about so far, as well as a couple other things such as having bright lamps where you live and things like that. Just goes over all the home modification things that I talked about. And like I said, if I set up a home assessment for you, they're going to go over the same things.
Okay.
So do you have any questions for me right now?
No, this has all been really helpful.
Okay. And then next time, we're going to talk a little bit more in depth about your oxygen tank and your tubing and things like that, but in the kitchen. So we're going to prepare a meal, go over some safety tips to not only lessen your fall risk, but also any kind of other fire risks or things like that with the oxygen tank and the kitchen. Does that sound okay?
Yeah.
You look forward to making some food next time?
I would like to do that, if you can help me.
I can definitely help you. All right, well, do you have any other questions before?
I do not. I'm sure I will after reading this, but
okay.
You've done a very well job of explaining things.
All right, well, thank you, and I look forward to seeing you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
You have a good day.
You too.